From the station working for you, this is ABC 27 News in high definition.
Overnight this morning and all afternoon, the snow is here. Some will need a ruler to measure it. Others may need a yardstick. PennDOT, of course, trying to keep up. The plows are out in force, but roads, they are still a mess. At times, the snow is coming down at an inch per hour. And if you must drive, clearing your car off will be quite a task. But as Brett is showing us there, it's a task that you're going to have to probably do over and over and over again. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Flora Pastorero. This forecast was days in the making. We're getting tons of snow, and more is expected. Brett is in the Storm Track Center. Hey, Brett.
The worst of the storm is over, Flora. That's not to say we won't see any more snow here this afternoon, but dry air tends to win out with these storms, and that's what we're seeing here right now. Let's get to the radar, and I want to show you where that dry air is located right now, mainly over the lower Susquehanna Valley. We are seeing a break while the heaviest snow bands push up toward places like Huntington County, Mifflin County. Those are producing some pretty decent snows right now for those folks, but you can see all the dry air working into the Susquehanna Valley with some very light snow and sleet mixing in now as well. The wider picture shows that we may not be done yet. The question will be whether this can reform over the region here tonight. And if it does, we might see another few inches of accumulation. So, Flora, we're watching this closely, and as we head into the afternoon, we'll stay on top of it for you.
We're going to come back to you, but right now we're going to go live to Harrisburg City Hall, where the mayor is now holding a news conference.
Continued wintry mix, which will make conditions slick, but the majority of the accumulation is done. I just went outside of City Hall, and the official measurement from here is about 8 inches of snow, between 8 and 9 inches, depending on where you measure. We have had public works crews out all night. They've been salting the roadways. There have been 16 plows, basically continuously working in 2 shifts. And I want to reassure the public that we have enough salt to handle the snow. Also, the help desk in City Hall is open today. We are indeed open today and at work, as you can see. If you wish to call the help desk, you can call 255-3040. You can also email at info@cityofhbg.com, or you can visit Harrisburg's website, which is harrisburgpa.gov, for the latest updates. And I do have one important update. I just got off the phone with Standard Parking, and they will be extending the hours for free parking for city residents till the end of the day on Friday. So residents will have until the end of the day Friday to move their cars out of the Locust Street garage. And there is indeed still time right now and for the rest of the day here to get your car moved off the snow emergency routes, move it into the Locust Street garage. You won't have to come back and pick it up until sometime later in the day on Friday. So anytime. Originally, it was announced that you had to move by 6:30 a.m. in the morning on Friday, and now you just have to be out before the garage closes at 7 o'clock on Friday. Both police and the fire have been out on the emergency routes, alerting residents to move their cars, and they've done, I think, a very good job. It is essential that we continue to try and move those cars. Now that the snowing is beginning to stop, if we can get in and do that plowing curb to curb, we can be very effective at this time. And again, we'll have a new shift coming in this afternoon, 3:30, 4 o'clock. Fresh drivers ready to go and plow, so please move those cars. I do want to thank Standard Parking for offering the free parking and now for extending the hours of the free parking garage. I want to also remind people that you can still park at the City Island and Fire Museum lots. And there's be additional information on the website. Important note, Standard Parking is ticketing on snow emergency routes only. So they are not enforcing parking on any meters anywhere in the city which is not a snow emergency route. They are issuing tickets as a push to get people to move their cars, but that was done in cooperation with us in helping clear those routes. They are not enforcing meters outside of the snow emergency routes. And thus far, city police have not towed any cars. We've been trying to give residents as much time as possible to move their cars, but we may have to begin doing that later this afternoon if folks don't get out and remove them from the snow emergency routes. And with that, I want to hand it over to the fire chief here for some other
You've been listening to a live news conference. Harrisburg Mayor Eric Papenfuss talking about the situation going on in the capital city. Brett, I think you were interrupted midstream there, so we're going to go back to you so you can finish what you were saying.
That's all right. Important stuff from the mayor there, good information. Now,
turn your microphone on.
We've got just a little bit of drying going on out there. There's still some very light sleet and snow going on, but the heaviest accumulations are done. What I was talking about there before the mayor's press conference was this, and this is what we call a deformation zone that tends to form on the back side of this. The question will be, can this hold together long enough to give us maybe a couple more inches of accumulation here later on? It's tough because look at all of this dry air that it has to overcome. So we're going to watch and wait and see, but this is just to alert you that there could be another burst of snow here later this afternoon or this evening as this thing lifts to the north, but you can already see it is weakening some here over the mountains of West Virginia. I am not an artist, as you could tell from that map, but hopefully you followed all that. Let's show you some snow totals here. 12 inches in Fairfield, 10.5 in Gettysburg, Enola at 9, 8.5 in here in Harrisburg at ABC 27, Hershey at 8. The forecast, our forecast, was for 6 to 12 inches. There were some places that did get a tad more. Shrewsbury at 14.5. Very impressive amounts in southern York County. Spring Grove over 12, but generally speaking, 6 to 12 seems pretty good. And across the region, visibility is lifting tremendously. As Mark Hall showed you earlier with our continuing coverage, just wet pavements there at Millersville. The visibility in Lancaster County getting a lot better. So, Flora, as we head into the rest of the afternoon, very light precipitation. The heaviest accumulations are done. We're going to watch that other band that could sneak in here this evening, but dry air at this point in the storm is very hard to overcome. So, nonetheless, a major snow event for us here. As I said, 8.5 here at the station, and of course, we've got crews all over the place. So let's get right to it, Flora. We send things back to you.
My son's been asking me, when's it going to stop? Now we know. He thanks you, Brett.
There you go. Yep.
All right. Well, no matter where you go in the mid-state, it's, of course, covered with snow. We have live team coverage now, beginning with Stephen Fisher. He is live in York County. Stephen.
Flora, let's start with some good news, shall we? The snow has tapered off a bit. I mean, earlier today at 10 o'clock, I was out here and it was coming down and it was coming down. PennDOT crews are trying to clear off their own driveway. We're unable to. It just kept accumulating. Now we at least have some blacktop. We can see blacktop once again. Now, PennDOT crews have been working hard here today. Just a few minutes ago, there was a shift change. It looked like a hockey shift change. Guys came in, a ton of trucks came in. They got out of their trucks. New guys went into those trucks, gassed up, and went right back out. Now, let's take a look at some video we shot from earlier today on those roads. It was a tough time for a lot of people cleaning off their cars. Now, on Route 30, earlier today, you couldn't see any blacktop. It was just not a good idea to be out there. 83 was the same exact way. Visibility was very poor. It at least is a little bit better now with the snow tapering off. Now, York County commissioners have issued a disaster declaration here in the county due to the snowstorm, and York City is under a snow emergency. So if you're parked at any of those emergency routes, you got to move your cars. If you haven't already, it's possible they could have been towed. Now, PennDOT is out there doing what they can. If you're at home and you feel like you haven't seen a plow come by in a long time, hang in there. There is a method to the madness. Here's what PennDOT had to say about removing the snow.
Our main priority are the interstates and highways and arteries that feed them. We are moving resources from the back roads up to the interstates. So those folks, we will get there, but it's really snowing right now, and we need to move those vehicles to the main roads.
Now, Flora, we've been at PennDOT all morning, and I've had some time to make a little bit of an arsenal of snowballs. Now, me and my photographer, Kyrie, are going to head out in a little bit, check some of the neighborhoods, and just in case we run into any neighborhood trouble with the kids, we wanted to be well prepared. Now, also well prepared has been PennDOT. Now, they looked, and they were very concerned about the salt. Will they have enough? They are confident they will have enough to get us through the storm. So we started with good news. We're going to end with good news. The snow is tapering off, and it seems as though PennDOT is starting to get a handle on things. It's just a little bit after noon here today, but that's the latest from York. Send it back to you, Flora.
Speaking of children, you haven't seen Algonosa down there, have you?
No, I haven't, but if I do, I'll let you know. I'll give you a heads up.
And you're ready with the snowballs for him. We're teasing. Thank you, Stephen. Well, as always, remember you can watch ABC 27 on air and online to get the latest snowstorm information. The closings, they're all at the top of your screen. You can also go to our website, abc27.com, and we have the latest updates on Facebook and Twitter, and of course on your mobile apps. You can now watch us on your phone, and I'm still trying to figure that out because I'm
liking this stuff.
Not technically up on everything, but that's great. Now the roads, the major roads, the trucks are out, they're being plowed, but it's those side streets that really are still a mess. And Val has a look at the roads right now.
Yeah, we drove in, took us a long time, quite a mess for others who are out there. I first want to take a look, however, on Cumberland County at 81 and 114, which I can't get up there, but there is actually, there we go, there's actually an accident, as you can see off. It looks like somebody spun off the road. Now, talking about the turnpike, I want to also mention it's closed westbound between Carlisle and Breezewood due to a multi-vehicle crash involving 2 tractor trailers and 2 cars. As far as we know, there are no injuries there. But again, that's a 65-mile stretch of the turnpike that is closed. Also, the speed's been reduced to 45 miles per hour from Blue Mountain Tunnel to the New Jersey line. You can also get updates by calling 1-866-976-TRIPS. That's 1-866-976-TRIPS. But as we go through Cumberland County, you can see there are very few people who are actually on the road. You know, also flights you need to worry about today. Roughly half of today's HIA departures and arrivals have been canceled as well. So, you know, we'll take a look over into Dauphin County, 81 and Front Street. This is like smooth sailing. The only good thing about driving in today, Flora, was not that many people were on the road. So if you were doing a little slipping and sliding, it wasn't too bad. Now, PennDOT is actually
look at
closed.
That.
Yeah, look at that.
You can see the road.
You can.
That's great.
They're working out there.
That's great.
PennDOT is actually restricted for tractor trailers and like motorcycles on the major interstates. So you're going to really want to be cautious if you were thinking about using any of those vehicles on those roads. Still in Dauphin County now. Oop. There we go. 283, 441, smooth sailing. Taking a look in York County, we just saw where Stephen was. Again, it's just quiet, which is actually a good thing to see. Adams County, we hardly ever go down there. Things are looking good down there, and also in Franklin County. I also like to look at the live cameras, too, to see what's going on. And not too much, huh? You
That's
see
Route
down there.
30 in
York
County.
Route 30, Route 15, 581, Wade Bridge, South Bridge. And again, in York. Now, Capital Area Transit, by the way, has suspended bus service until Friday in Dauphin and Cumberland counties. And when it comes to HI, again, a lot of the departures have been canceled. Coming in, arrivals, you want to check that. Amtrak operating on a modified schedule. Megabus, widespread schedule changes affecting Pennsylvania as well as Greyhound. So a lot of cancellations for bus trips if you're going to take them. And a little bit of humor. While they are not Greyhounds, as we were speaking, my 2 kids actually love the snow. So I think we have a picture of Avin and Deco there hanging out, looking forward to just playing in it. And Mommy had to go to work.
Of course.
Mommy, not so much. But yeah, so if you do have to go out there today, we were talking a little earlier, too, about going out and being careful with the ice underneath the snow if you're driving or walking.
Got to be
careful.
careful.
Back to you.
All right, we're going to check in now with Mark Hall. He is continuing our storm team coverage in Lancaster County. And Mark, it's wonderful to see that you're so happy to be out there.
Oh, Flora, I'm just gonna do my job, and I'm not even gonna comment on that. But you know, things are looking pretty good right now. The snow has stopped. We had about an hour stretch of sleet and freezing rain. That also has stopped, but the wind has picked up, so that makes conditions right now a little bit uncomfortable. But more importantly, let's show you the roads here. This stretch of Lincoln Highway, or Route 30 here in Lancaster. We're right near Dutch Wonderland. And the good news is that we really haven't seen a lot of traffic on the roads for the last several hours, and that has allowed PennDOT crews to work both eastbound and westbound, and the roads are just wet right now. A little slushy in spots, but considering how things looked earlier this morning, things are looking pretty good. Now let's show you a video from a little bit earlier this morning. This is what the view looked like for a lot of folks who woke up earlier. Snow, snow, snow. And we actually found one gentleman who was making his way along Lincoln Highway around 7 o'clock this morning. Things looked much different, as you can see, and we certainly hope that he made it to his destination. As I had mentioned earlier, PennDOT crews have been working to clear 30, and private contractors have been also very busy. Now, as you know, if you're familiar with this stretch of Lincoln Highway, it has a lot of parking lots. You have businesses, strip malls, and hotels. And we caught up with Jim Cox, who says that they did some prep work yesterday because they knew they were going to be extremely busy today.
Yeah, there's 5 of us for this particular company out, but there's thousands of us out as collectively probably just here in Lancaster.
Has it been a busy week for you? Because we had that ice the other day. I mean,
I ran around all day yesterday and just pushed snow piles back and, you know, prepare for today.
Now, a lot of people are stranded inside of hotels, and meet my new best friend, Raphael, who's from Italy. Now, he is in Lancaster on business, and he was taking pictures with his cell phone. As you can see, Raphael was wearing just a sweatshirt, but they don't really see much snow in Venice.
Not like this. Like this, just in mountain. No, in Italy we have just the high water in Venice because I'm from Venice. But unbelievable.
When you walked outside, what went through your mind?
Like fabulous. I like snow, but it's much colder here.
Well, as you heard from Raphael, he's not really used to this kind of snow. Even after we finished speaking with him, he continued to stay outside, and he was taking pictures, and I assume video as well, to perhaps send back to friends and family in Venice. We are here at the Host Inn, and there is a big conference that is taking place here today, and a lot of folks were looking forward to getting home today, and that may be delayed, of course, for a while. But things, Flora, are looking much better here in Lancaster than they were earlier this morning. So that's certainly some good news as we send it back to you.
Now, Mark, you said earlier to Allie and James that you needed an interpreter to understand Raphael. You did understand what he was saying?
Yeah,
you did?
I know. Yeah, he was blown away by the snow. I mean, he was in total shock. He just couldn't believe it. He had a big smile on his face. It's kind of like I do when I'm out here telling you about it.
He was talking about the snow. He doesn't see the snow in Venice, so they have the high water. You understood that. That's what he was saying.
He was loving it, Flora. Again, you're familiar with Venice. I mean, you know, it has that stretch of water, and he was just talking about how, you know, every now and then it would snow, but nothing quite like this. You would never see any kind of a significant accumulation. So he was enjoying it, as I am right now.
And you know my parents are from Italy. I'm not making fun of anybody. I just understood what he was saying. All right. I'm so glad you're happy, Mark. We'll check in with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. In Cumberland County, they might not be getting so much snow as other areas, but there's still plenty to shovel. Alex Hoff is live now in Cumberland County. Alex.
Hey there, Flora. I want to start by saying what a great resource that Twitter has been. We've been getting some pictures from people showing what their neighborhoods look like, what the back roads, because that's where the issues really are. And the other reason I'm loving Twitter this morning is because I found out that hashtag stupid hat, which I think made an appearance earlier when Dennis made an appearance, and I think I somehow got roped into that. But that hashtag started when the North Carolina governor told his state not to put on their stupid hat and drive in the snow. Thankfully, many people have not put on their stupid hats today, but I do see a couple of people out in these roadways, and it's probably because more of that blacktop is now visible, but that doesn't mean that you're in the clear. There's certainly a lot of slush on these roadways. You know, in conditions like this and throughout the winter, we've been hearing from people from up in Erie or Buffalo. They've been saying, you know, oh, this is no big deal. You guys down here make a huge deal out of snow. Well, you know, we talked to a woman earlier, and she's up from the Erie area, lives down here now. She said, you know, I walked outside today and I realized this is a pretty big deal. This is what she said about her experience going to work.
I was going to venture out to work. I mean, they said, you know, if it's pretty bad, you know, make your own judgment call. And I was like, well, I'll try it. Well, I got there, no one was there. So I was like, well, I'm already out. I need to stop at the grocery store anyways.
We're seeing less and less people come out and get those necessary items. Hopefully people did that yesterday. One other thing I've been seeing is people walking, more people walking than you'd ever see normally in February. That's also kind of a risky maneuver. As Val said, if you take a misstep or if a car does, you can put yourself in a lot of trouble. Also, you have a hard time with the wind that's out here and the drifts that is creating. You can't really see where the curbs are. That's an issue for cars and for people walking. I walked over earlier to get a coffee at one of the businesses that was still open. They're only going to be open till about 2. And at one point, I'm like, I think I'm walking on top of their bushes. I had no idea where I even was, but it's certainly an experience out here. and one that it's probably easier to watch from home than it is to experience out here, and a whole lot more fun to watch from home. I'll send it back to you, Flora.
All right. You are rocking that hat, Alex. Love it. All right. Stay with us. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back. Our live team coverage of this snowstorm continues with Ryan Coyle. He's live along the Carlisle Pike in Hampden Township. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Flora. I guess, things are starting to settle down a little bit here in Cumberland County. We're seeing a light snow and sleet mixture, and I guess I fit right in. We got the hood down now. I know Dennis Owens, I know Alex Hoff went with the big winter hat, and I've got my own version of that. I don't have nearly as much fur on my hat, but things are getting a little bit more under control around this part of Hampden Township. We are along the Carlisle Pike near 581. I want to show you the road conditions here. This is right where the Carlisle Pike kind of merges down from 2 lanes to 1, or depending upon your direction, from 1 lane to 2. Notice the shoulders are real thick with snow. I mean, you get down here, you're talking about a solid 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow, simply because PennDOT can't keep up with keeping the road the full width. There's no need at this point, not as many cars out on the roadway, so what you're really working with is 1 lane in each direction, and based on the amount of traffic that we have, well, that's more than enough. Off in the distance there above that shot, what you can see is 581. We've seen a steady flow of traffic, and the good news is it has been moving along at a steady pace, or at least as best as it can when you have half a foot to nearly 10 inches of snow. There goes a FedEx truck and a couple cars up on 581. That's about as fast as we've seen them move all day. We got out here around 3 a.m. and when we got here, I'd say we had about 2 inches of snow on the ground. Now, being a meteorologist, of course, we got to show you exactly how much snowfall we have seen. Near 9 inches of snowfall here, according to the snow stick that we're keeping an eye on. We might add a little bit more to that, but as we come back out, I want to spin my cameraman around one more time as we send it back to Flora, because PennDOT making a pass one more time, and this time trying to widen it even more. So they're out here, they're obviously doing their job and doing the best they can with the situation we got. This is a nor'easter, and that's how it works. Flora, we'll send it back to you. All
right, they're doing a great job, everyone is. Thank you so much, Ryan. We're going to turn now to Dennis Owens, who is live in Harrisburg, and I'm sure he has quite a tale to tell. Hey, Dennis.
I do. I have 2 tales to tell. And speaking of doing quite a job, Tremaine Perrin here, you've shoveled the entire walkway. Tell us, what is the shoveling experience like?
Very crazy out here. Very crazy.
But it's dry and fluffy, isn't it?
Yes, very dry and fluffy.
So it's not too heavy for you?
No.
Okay, Tremaine, thanks so much. You keep doing a great job. If you're driving and out on the roads, I found out about an hour and a half ago, it can be treacherous. Take a look. The major roads in Hampden Township, Cumberland County were snow-covered and slow, but passable. A plow had gone through at least once, maybe more. All in all, a picturesque winter wonderland. Santa would love this site. On I-81 North, the pace was quicker, though the volume of traffic was way down. We passed a couple cars on the road. They were moving about 40 miles an hour. Visibility, though, was not good. Maybe about a football field, 100 yards, as everything just appeared white in the horizon. Pure and clean and beautiful, unless you're this guy, a Jersey driver who was just trying to get back to Hoboken.
I spun out, just trying to make my way home. But obviously that's not working out too well. It's pretty dangerous out here, so I would not recommend driving in these conditions. I wasn't going too fast, just going 35, 40 miles an hour. Just kind of veered off the road and spun out. Nothing much I could do after that.
Stopping to help with his plow was Chris Wilson, who wasn't charging the kid. He said it's just good karma to help a stranded driver, but he is charging commercial properties to clear their lots and plow their driveways.
The highway looks okay as far as right here. I mean, I know it's really slick, but it's the private developments are a lot worse. I just got done doing a development in Mechanicsburg. As soon as I was done, there was 3-4 inches on top of it again. I got guys that are over on Linglestown Road just clearing away with skid loaders and everything else, and they just can't keep up with it.
Guys and gals with plows are plowing it into their bank accounts this winter. All this white stuff falling is falling green for you, right?
Correct.
Pennies from heaven, dollars from heaven.
Yep, we need it too. It's been a hard year.
Perhaps Chris should share the wealth with our overworked weather department.
Well, I have the WHCM weather app on my phone. I use it pretty exclusively, and it does a good job and really lets us know what's going to be coming down.
Have our weather guys been pretty accurate?
They've been pretty close, you know what I mean? I'll give it to them. The last couple of years, they've had a couple hits or misses, but this year they've been pretty spot on, so I've been very happy with them.
The latest weather report in Harrisburg, the snow is actually slowed down, but the winds are picking up a bit. And Flora, the fact of the matter is when the plows make big piles, they make big mounds, and we're going to be in a winter wonderland for quite some time before all of this snow melts. Funny little tidbit, it's Sochi where they're trying to hold the Winter Olympics. It's 54 degrees. But here where we don't have the Winter Olympics, we should have the Winter Olympics. Let's send it back to you.
Driving is a little bit of a Winter Olympic sport. You know, when I drove past that young man that you met up with on the side of the road there, and it happened like really, literally a minute, and I drove right past him as well, and it's good to see that he's okay.
Yeah, and Flora, I think it bears noting that you drove right past him. I saw him and pulled over and said, hey, can I help? Just saying.
Well, there's a little bit of a difference there, Dennis. I was by myself. I needed to get to work.
On.
Right? I needed to get to work, and you had a chauffeur, so there's a little bit of a difference there. All right, thank you, Dennis. Stay with us, so we will be right back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Here's the latest radar trend now, and we've seen a lot of drying take place moving up from the mid-Atlantic. And you know, I've got Eric Finkenbinder over there at the radar, and you can see we still have some heavy snow bands, heavier snow bands up toward Lewistown, Huntington County, moving just northwest of Sunbury right now. But look at all this dry air. It's still snowing and sleeting very finely. The one concern we've got is this band. Look at this snow redeveloping here on the backside of this low. There's an upper air disturbance right here. And if that wants to kick in just right, we could see some more accumulation here moving into the evening hours. But for the next several hours, I would say the brunt of this storm is pretty much done, over and done with. Right now in Harrisburg, 35 degrees, so it has warmed up significantly. We were in the teens this morning. Winds getting a little gusty at 18 miles per hour, but the visibility has improved significantly as well. Still in the 20s across the elevations to the west, but mid-30s for Harrisburg and Philadelphia. Let's show you some cameras across the region. York, near zero visibility earlier this morning when they were getting about 2 inches per hour. But since the snow has slowed up a bit, there's a lot of dry air in place now. And look at the roads in Lancaster. Yes, indeed, this is what PennDOT was hoping for. You get a couple of hours of this very light, fine snow. They can catch up on the roadways before we would get any more redevelopment here later on this evening. Hey, look at Chambersburg, seeing some blacktop. All good signs, my friends, but you know, hard to keep up with during 1 to 2 inches per hour. And so you can see on South Mountain here a nice white picturesque postcard. Paxtonia a little bit gray, and the old sled works at Duncannon can actually see that frozen river now there in Perry County. This cold air, by the way, did extend far enough south to give Georgia, South Carolina that ice storm yesterday. But look at this, warming up, 53 in Houston, 48 in Oklahoma City. Dare I say a moderating trend? That will get here eventually, not for a few days though. Temperatures should be near 40 degrees, not going to happen today. 63 degrees, the record back in 1974. Ah yes, Flora's heyday. And my oh my, was it nice and warm back then. We've got this low working its way up the coast here, a classic nor'easter, not a blizzard by the way. The winds not all that impressive with this. They will pick up this evening. This is a little front that's rather interesting because it's going to redevelop here tomorrow night and Saturday morning, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Winds increase to 10 to 20 miles per hour through the evening hours with light snow and sleet, if not a complete lull. And then here we go, 6 p.m. to midnight. There is a snow band that wants to redevelop, and another 1 to 3 inches could be possible in some of our eastern counties, perhaps Harrisburg and points to the east, but oftentimes we see this thing kind of sticking near the Poconos. This is not set in stone, but it is something we want to alert you to, so there's no surprises here later on tonight. And then I jump ahead. Early Saturday morning, there's a sneaky little fast-moving wave we're watching. And oh yeah, Saturday morning, several inches could be possible. We're going to keep an eye on that. Eric Finkenbinder is diagnosing that as we speak. So as we head to the rest of the afternoon, very light snow and sleet will continue. But here's this band that wants to reform after about 7 o'clock tonight. Precision Cast overdoing it a bit, I think, in my opinion. So something to keep an eye on. Tomorrow will be dry during the day, but watch this wave I'm talking about tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Yes, look at this. A several-hour period of snow possible. We don't anticipate a great deal of accumulation, but it certainly could be enough to bring us a few inches. So that snow shower icon I have on there, watch Finkenbinder tonight. That may be increased just a little bit to some actual snow here Friday night into Saturday. But what else would we expect? this winter, and the weekend does look mainly quiet and dry. And look at that, Flora, on the end of the 7-day forecast.
45 degrees.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little melt going on.
Maybe a little bit.
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Amy will be here with Good Day PA.
Looking
Stay
forward
with
to
us.
it. Yep.
All right, well, chances are your Facebook page is lighting up with snow photos, and here are a few that we'd like to share with you. They were on our ABC 27 Facebook fan page. Dave took this photo of his son playing with a toy plow truck inside as the real one was going by in their neighborhood. Dee in Perry County reaching a milestone. You can see the ruler there reached the foot mark by 10 this morning in Landisburg, and Noelle opened her door just long enough for her dog Yogi to play in the snow. But the best picture of the day comes from the Becker family in Chambersburg.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, the family posing by the pool there in summer attire. Mom and dad sipping drinks, their daughter's poolside, dreaming. Dreaming.
I think you and I should take a picture like that.
I'm ready to go. Find me a beach. Now, just to be clear, this is not a blizzard, right?
No, it is not.
It is not a blizzard. Don't call it a blizzard. But we did have a blizzard 18 years ago, way back in January 1996. Harrisburg officially got 20 inches of snow. York, 38 inches of snow. And the snow drifts, they were 5 to 6 feet high. Schools were closed for a week and businesses shut their doors. And yes, do you remember this?
You survived.
I survived the blizzard of 96.
Yeah.
I was working for Channel 6 Action News in Philly at the time.
Yes, indeed.
And I survived the blizzard of 96. Were you still in diapers then?
No, Flora.
What were you doing then?
No, I was digging out my
You were
driveway.
digging out,
a week off of
seriously.
school. It was a lot of fun, and this is coming to an end here soon, and I know I'll be coming up here on our next program talking about it, but we survived this one too.
We did. It's
Yep.
not a blizzard.
No, it isn't. No wind.
And we're going to live.
That's right. That's
it's all
right.
good. Hey,
Yep.
thanks for watching. We're back at 5, but first, as we said, Amy Kay's up next.
That's right, and I'll be joining her for Good Day PA coming up. Stay with us.
It's a good day, PA. On today's show, look at that, a lot of white outside. This is a live look over Harrisburg. It's a special show today with live reports from our colleagues in the news and weather departments. We're adding some bright colors to all of the white out there, and we're doing it the Thrifty Thursday way. Grab your crayons and hairdryer, everyone. Well, taking a live look in the kitchen now, I'm a little bit nervous. I am going to go it alone in there. Maybe Brett will help me using what you see to create a hopefully yummy treat with the snow that's been falling. Warning, I did not give this a test run. And perhaps all this winter mess has you thinking about buying a new vehicle, maybe investing in a 4-wheel or all-wheel drive one. 1-800-LEMON-LAW will help us purchase that new vehicle without being taken for a ride. Good day, or rather good snow day to you. I'm Amy Kem. Had enough of Old Man Winter? Well, it looks like he hasn't had enough with us. We begin the show with Brett, who's been tracking things throughout the overnight, now into the afternoon for us. Hey, Brett.
Hi, Amy. And the good news of it is that real nasty stuff that came through with about 2 inches per hour in spots during the morning commute is out of here. The worst of the storm is most definitely over. As you can see, dry air and warmer air winning out. 35 degrees in Harrisburg. And look at all of this dry air in place here. That's not to say we won't see any more snow or sleet. There will be some light accumulations throughout the afternoon, and then our focus turns to what's going on here in the south, and that could be another band of snow that sets up here if it sets up just right. That could give us some additional accumulations here this evening. But this is a big time storm. It is a nor'easter. The reason it's not a blizzard is it is not windy. The winds will pick up eventually, but not for a little while yet. Here's the timeline. As you can see, the winds will increase through this evening with light snow and sleet, minor accumulations. There may be a snow band that redevelops here later on this evening. Another 1 to 3 inches possible here in some of our eastern counties, perhaps Harrisburg and points east. That is not set in stone. We have to see how this storm behaves, but nonetheless, be aware of that. So in other words, if you think the roads are clear and you might want to venture back out this evening, I would just wait it out. And then early Saturday morning, the reason I jump ahead is we're watching another fast-moving wave. Just a heads up that several inches could be possible here by Saturday morning again. So we're not done with winter yet by any stretch of the imagination. That's the latest here from the Storm Track Center. We go back to Amy, and Amy, I'll be joining you later in the show to talk more weather, and I may join you in the kitchen if you twist my arm.
Oh, I will twist. I'll twist hard.
Very good.
Thank you, Brett. We're going to see you again later in the show. Now, of course, the ABC 27 News team is working for you this afternoon. Crews are stationed all across the mid-state. I'm going to send things over to my colleague, Flora Pastorero. Okay, so what's going on, Flora?
Oh, it's very busy. We have teams all over the mid-state right now. We're going to check in with Dave Marcheski. He is live in Harrisburg. Hey, Dave.
What's going on, Florida? Now, just moments ago, Mayor Eric Papenfu says the city here is still under a snow emergency, but so far there have been really no major problems to report, despite Harrisburg getting nearly a foot of snow. Now, check out some of this video from earlier this morning. You can see driving around the city here was quite tough. That's why Mayor Papenfu says only drive if it's an emergency. He encourages residents to stay at home right now because snow routes are still in effect. So that means parking is prohibited along those streets. Now, standard parking has been ticketing cars all day along those snow routes. They have not towed any cars, but police have said they will begin towing cars later this afternoon. Now, Papenfu says he did speak with standard parking today. Free hours have been extended until tomorrow night, so free parking is still available at the Locust Street Garage near the federal courthouse. You can also park for free at the Farm Show, the National Fire Museum there on 4th Street, or City Island. Now, because most of the morning was a whiteout, no power outages have been reported. The fire department says they do have a shelter on standby just in case, but given that many businesses, schools, and buildings are closed, some took the opportunity to just play in the snow.
Yeah, I've never seen this much snow before. It's like blowing my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like up to your calf over there where it isn't plowed.
Now, that was Leah Connolly there. She lives downtown here with her husband. They have been just moved here about 5 months ago from Tennessee. Now, she also said it's pretty good packing snow. As you can see, the snow has stopped here in Harrisburg. It's pretty good snowball weather. I don't know what it's like there in York County, but we're going to turn it to Stephen Fisher to find out. Stephen?
Dave, it's a little different over here in York County. We're at PennDOT in York County, and it's starting to go towards that mixture. It's not quite snow, it's not quite rain, but it's definitely more wet than it was earlier. But the good news is the snow has stopped, so the accumulation is starting to taper off. You can actually see some pavement here in the parking lot. And if you take a look behind me after this car goes by, people are out doing some snow blowing. So you can tell probably the worst of it's over here in York County. People are getting out, starting to clean off what they can. Now, let's take a look at some video that we shot for you earlier today, showing you what it was like earlier today when it was coming down, an inch an hour, it seemed like. Now, a lot of people had a lot of trouble cleaning off their cars, including us. Our ABC 27 truck almost got stuck a few times before we made it over here to PennDOT in York County. Now, PennDOT workers have been out there working through the night. People last night worked from midnight to noon today, and people came in today at noon and are going to be working up until midnight. So they're really trying to do their part to make these roads safe so that we can get out there. Now, York County commissioners have issued a disaster declaration here in York County due to the snowstorm, and York County is still under a snow emergency. So if you are parked on any of those emergency routes, you need to get them off. You can park them in garages around the city for free. So if that's something that you need to look into, you can always take them up on that offer, park there for free. Now, we did speak with PennDOT, and they do have some advice for you at home to stay at home, let them go out there and do their jobs. Here's what PennDOT had to say.
At this point, the way it's snowing and coming down and accumulating, best thing to do is stay at home. If you're out there and you come across a plow train, stay behind the plow train. Give those folks plenty of room to do what they need to do.
Now, back here at PennDOT, just off to my left here, there's a truck that just got filled up with salt. We're told that they will have enough salt to get us through. Again, it has changed over to that mixture, a little snow, little rain. It's probably more rain here than anything. I don't know if you can see it coming across on your screen, but here's that truck's going to come behind me now. It's going to be filled with salt, and it looks like they're going to get out there, start laying down some salt. But that's the very latest from here in York County. The salt trucks are on their way out, trying to hit those roads to, again, prevent any kind of freezing. But for now, we'll send it back to you in the studios. Flora?
And the good news is there, Stephen, they are making progress, and that snow has slowed down or stopped. Thank you.